Good morning. Jag snackar norsk, men I'm going to speak English today because I'm going to try to be a little funnier than I am usually in Norwegian. I am not funny in Norwegian, according to my kids. I'm the Director of Innovation for IBM. All of you heard of IBM? Exciting company? I thought that was funny. Here's something even funnier. Before I was Director of Innovation for IBM, I was Director of Innovation for the most exciting Norwegian company. Which is the most exciting Norwegian company? The number one, by far. Skatteetaten. So for 5 years, I was Director of Innovation for Skatteetaten. So I am 100% offentlig sector, okay? So the thoughts and my ideas and everything that's going through my head is not just IBM or Amerikansk. It's also, the years I spent fighting for you, protecting you from any financial disaster, any innovation, any trend, any technology that would destroy Norway. That was my job at Skatteetaten. Isn't that cool? Anybody want the job? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to present to you 3 different areas of technology, just 3, and we're going to spend a lot of time in each individual one so that you understand the full impact of what these 3 areas mean to everyone, not just in Norway, but pretty much in the whole world. Because today, the whole Heia Norge is fantastic, but we're a global world. The kids today, your kids, and probably you, everything that you do here happens someplace else. It's all, when this is multiverse, everything's in parallel. So the 3 areas I want to talk about is an explosion of data, second one is cryptocurrencies, and the third is artificial intelligence. Let's just jump right into it. Isn't this a beautiful picture? This is a normal picture today when you're capturing a moment. See, before, I remember when I was growing up, I know that was a while ago, you see something that's absolutely beautiful and you look up and you just enjoy that moment. Everybody remember that? Of just enjoying the moment? Isn't that kind of strange? I have to actually ask you, do you remember that? Do you realize we're at that point today where you have to ask people, do you remember? And now today, when you go to a concert, this is what you see. Do you see all the mobile phones? Are they enjoying the moment? I wonder, right? We used to think it was weird when we picked up our big cameras and tried to capture the moment. Now people are capturing with a mobile phone. But what are they doing with that mobile phone? Are they taking a picture or are they streaming video? What they're doing is they're generating huge amounts of data. Massive and massive amounts of data. Look at all those people. Are they sending it to someone or are they leveraging the technology in that they're doing one too many? Do you know with Facebook today, say this person right there with the pick mobile phone, they're streaming it to Facebook. They're streaming it live on Facebook. That means any one of 1 billion people could be watching that one phone, that one experience. Do you know today that every one of you, right now, take out your phone. Everybody has Facebook, yes? Wow, that was the biggest no I ever got. Okay, embarrass yourself. Who does not have Facebook? Put your hands up, real proud. That's a oof for my. That's 50%. What kind of conference are you having? Holy shit, you set me up. So if you are on Facebook, so if you're not on Facebook, that's really interesting. Take 10 steps back. Wow. Anybody got some aquavit? About 3 months ago, Facebook passed the number of people using Facebook simultaneously at any given time of the day 3 months ago, passed 1 billion people on the planet Earth. Simultaneously. So right now, the 50% of you who are on Facebook, you're with 1 billion people at this moment. Remember just a couple of minutes ago, I talked about Norway, Heia Norge is kjempeviktig. And it feels good, and it's fantastic. But if you're on Facebook, you're part of planet Earth. Everything you do, you're sharing with 1 billion people instantaneously. så liten Norge, ikke så liten I dag. Skjønner du? You follow me? Yeah? I'm really trying to recover from this 50% thing. Woo! Can I have some water? Did you spike the water, please? All right, I want to go through some of these things and make some and understand that each one of these sentences, as boring as they are quite impactful. Today, well, in 2021, here, 102 million wearables. Do you guys know what? If you're not on Facebook, you probably don't know what a wearable is. If I insult you, we can have a fight after the conference. A wearable, I would have worn my wearable. A wearable is a little watch that is monitoring everything you do, your number of steps you take, it can monitor your heart rate, it monitors everything. Those are wearables. And everyone but you guys have them. So 100 million wearables were shipped in 2016, 100 million, and growing to 237,000. What people are doing with these wearables, every time I take a step, it's generating data, is measuring how many steps I take, how far I walk, if I go up a hill, how much elevation I've climbed, what is my heart rate, it's generating huge amounts of data. So right now, you're sitting in that chair, you're generating data. Have you ever thought about that? How much data are you generating right now? Is that a weird question for you? You're generating, you're breathing. Some of you are breathing faster. You are a living computer generating huge amounts of data, and all that data is important. All that data should be used. Let me give you another fact. Did you know in the last 2 years, this is really important if you want to get the whole scope. In the last 2 years, 80% of all the data ever generated in mankind, going back to dinosaur days, okay? 80% of all the data we've ever created was created in the last 2 years. Does that mean something to you? Does that blow your mind away? Do you know how much data we're generating? It's huge amounts. Look at the MRIs. 80 million MRIs are taken every single year. And I did the math because I thought this was interesting. That breaks down to 156 MRIs are taken every single minute of every single day, including when you sleep. Do you know how much data we're generating and what are we doing with that data? 2.5 million emails are sent every second. How long do you spend to write an email? Anybody? Anybody take 2 seconds? Anybody take 10 minutes when you write an email? Norwegian emails, how long are Norwegian emails? Right? American email is, yeah, I'll be there. A Norwegian email is, jeg gikk det hit fredag, or extremely long. But if you're taking 5 or 10 minutes to write an email and you hit send, boom, that one email sent that second, 2.5 million of those things are sent every second. Do the math. If it takes an average 5 to 10 minutes per email, 2.5 million emails are sent every second, how many people and how much time is being spent generating that information? And who's reading all that information? Are you starting to get a sense of how much information we're generating all the time? And you guys think you're busy now? Do you get the point? We can keep on going through all these things. The one thing I want you to hold on to is 100,000 new cancer articles are published every year, because I'm going to touch on cancer in a little while. But think about this, 100,000 cancer articles are published every year. You have a doctor, they're busy, an oncologist, a cancer doctor. You want them to be the most informed people in the world. Do any of you have the time to read 100,000 articles a year? And their job's to save lives. Those articles are publications that have important information with a clinical trial, some new drug, right? They should be informed, correct? Will you yell at your doctor and you say, have you read 100,000 articles this year? Kind of ridiculous, but that's what the pressure they have. Do you think you have a tough job? To save lives, they have to read 100,000 articles a year. It's not possible. I think this is an interesting picture because this is actually the truth of it all. We only use 10% of all the data that's generated. You know all that data I've been telling you about a moment ago? We're generating data. You generate data while you sit there. You generate data while you walk. You're writing all these emails. All this is information, tons of information. We're only using 10% of it. 90% of it is unused. Isn't that amazing? Remember I said in the last 2 years, we've generated 80% of all the data ever created. We're generating huge amounts of data, and we're not doing anything with it. This is your reality. And this thing is exponentially growing. Do you guys understand how much data there is in the world? Hold on to that as I continue this presentation. Let's jump to something else that's really cool. Cryptocurrencies. You guys not on Facebook, so let me tell you. How many people know what cryptocurrency, Bitcoin? 50%. What do you guys, divide yourself up before you came here today? Really quick, cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is probably the poster child of cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies is digital money. It has no form. It has no physical form. They created this picture because people need to see something, touch something. It's just digital. It's just a formula that somebody created and said, this is a currency, and people pay money for it. The beauty of Bitcoin, or the horribleness of Bitcoin, is that it was completely created to be encrypted and untouched. You cannot touch it, you cannot find it, you cannot stop it, and you cannot track it. There is no government in the world, there's no IT system in the world that can stop any cryptocurrency. They're all encrypted, they're all doing in secret, but they're a financial currency market. And they are huge. In 2013, cryptocurrencies weren't that big a market, only 1.5 billion. And it grew, and it grew, and it grew. And that 2017 number is actually extremely wrong. It's missing a zero. Let me give you a Skatteetaten story. When I was working at Skatteetaten, we were looking at Bitcoin. This is going back about 7 years. And Bitcoin at that time was 50 cents per Bitcoin. And we found a taxi driver in Stavanger where he accepted Bitcoin instead of money. So if you took a 200 kroner ride, he took a couple of Bitcoin. Do you know how much that Bitcoin was for that 200 kroner ride? Do you know how much he's got in his pocket today from that? Today, Bitcoin, as of Friday, Bitcoin is worth $5,000 a Bitcoin. What's 5,000 times 10? 10 Bitcoins. He charged 20 Bitcoins for that ride, let's say. He's sitting on nice chunk of change, $100,000. Anybody ever took a taxi ride for $100,000? That's only 5 Bitcoins, 10 Bitcoins. There are hundreds and hundreds of cryptocurrencies. This is supposed to scare you. I've been talking about one cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. There are hundreds of cryptocurrencies. What really scares me is that if the newspaper pushes and talks about digital currencies, they always talk about just one, Bitcoin. What they don't talk about is IT people are creating new currencies that go around all financial systems, that go around all financial markets. The banks have nothing to do with it. Welcome to the new financial world, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. Are you a part of it? Anybody own any Bitcoin, Litecoin, Spaincoin, Potcoin, Einstein coin, Lithium, Ethereum? Anybody raise your hand? Not one of you? This is the financial world. It's not regulated. It's completely encrypted, so you can't track it. Last Monday, Bitcoin was worth $2,000. By Friday, it was worth $5,000. Do you think you want to be into that type of investment? Anybody? All of these things are exploding. All of these things are growing. All of these things bypass all markets. The reason why Bitcoin went up last week, because the word got out that Amazon.com, is looking to accept Bitcoin instead of cash. Do you understand? This is the new financial world. And you're not a part of it. And you can't control it. And people have tried to regulate it. This is the countries around the world's attempt to regulate Bitcoin. They looked at Bitcoin, and the best they could do is cryptocurrencies, not just Bitcoin, right? Because these are all the cryptocurrencies. And they're all just evaluating. The answer is always evaluating, because there's nothing you can do to stop the cryptocurrencies. Companies are accepting, people are accepting cryptocurrencies. They don't want cash, they don't want dollars, they don't want euro, they want digital currency. Is anybody scared yet? This is the world that everyone is living on. If you are under 30 years old, this is your world. And this is your bank. It's huge. The last thing I want to touch on is artificial intelligence. This is probably the most exciting part, and that is that artificial intelligence is something that everybody talks about, but nobody really understands. Everybody thinks about this one. Does anybody think this is a really cute picture? The baby's holding the robot's hand, the mommy's saying, that's okay, you could hold the robot's hand. Very cute little picture. This is a lie. Not one hospital in the world has a robot healing anybody. Do not fall for this. This is the way it is in 50 hospitals around the world. What in IBM started on this journey. You know, IBM's big IT company, we create supercomputers, and we also created an algorithm, a program that says, simulate the way the human brain works. We put these two things together, and we gave birth to Watson, this supercomputer, this artificial intelligence. It's just software. It's not a robot. It's just code. It's actually right here in my hand now. It's just code. This code is nothing. But it's able to read 10 million pages in 3 seconds. When I say read, is able to read a sentence and understand the meaning of the sentence, and remember the meaning of the sentence at 10 million pages in 3 seconds. In your lifetime, you will not read 1 million pages of information. This thing reads 10 million pages in 3 seconds. So what we did with this amazing software, we said, what is the ultimate thing we could do? Let's try to cure cancer. So today, in 50 hospitals around the world, this is what you experience with doctors using artificial intelligence. What you're seeing is, by the way, this is a real picture. She has 20 years of experience. He actually has leukemia, so that's very sad. And this is artificial intelligence. It's just an iPad. And what you're experiencing, what you're seeing, when you go to a hospital that's using artificial intelligence to help cure cancer, is in the iPad. As she walks in the room, the software, in this case Watson, has read all the information in the world on cancer. As she walks into the room of the patient, the software has read everything ever published, the chemical structure of the software, of the drug, the genes, everything. Imagine that. Could you do that? Not in your lifetime. It does it in a few seconds. And then it looks at his electronic medical record, compares the two, and gives a recommendation. And says, based on the last hour, all the information ever published, based on your heart rate, your condition at this very second, based on all the clinical trials in the world, this is the very best treatment we can give you as of this second. This is being done in 50 hospitals around the world. This is the state of the art in artificial intelligence. Startups around the world are also getting into it too. Startups are saying, if we use artificial intelligence, this thing that can read everything, understand everything, what type of service can we provide? How can we really help people? This startup called Medtronics, they did something really innovative. They put it all into a mobile phone app, and they're helping to cure diabetes. So here's the situation. Today you go to a doctor, the doctor says you have a problem with diabetes, do this, do that, do that. The next patient comes in, do this, do that. It's not very personal. But with this application, using artificial intelligence, when you eat something, the application knows. When you take a couple of steps and you walk a kilometer or two, it knows. It's giving you ultimate personalized medicine. It's gathering all the latest information in the world all the time. It's understanding what you're doing, what you're eating every single second, and you have personalized healthcare for you, all in your mobile phone today. Was it that profound? One of the reasons why this is important is, what is a doctor? What is healthcare? People coming out of the woodwork. Do you understand? It starts changing the definition of things, of positions, of you, your responsibility to you. You know how a lot of times people get sick and they go, oh, let me just go to the doctor will help me. Today, you could help you through your mobile phone. It redefines and re-questions and repositions everything in society. Not everything, but it's going to get to everything. Do you understand? Let's give you another example. Something really boring. Elevators. Anybody get excited when they hear elevator? Kona is the world's biggest elevator company. There's nothing more boring than talking about elevators. They did something quite amazing. They realized that in the morning, on Monday through Friday, between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. in the morning, that over 1 billion people go through the elevators. They said, we're not an elevator company. We're a transportation company. And in the morning, over 1 billion people depend upon us to get them where they're going. They changed their business model completely. And they're now responsible for transporting people. Before, they used to sell elevators. Now they give you the elevator for free. They use artificial intelligence and they put sensors into every part of the elevator. Today, they send people to fix the elevator 1 week, 2 hours, and 20 seconds before the elevator breaks. They have sensors in every part of the elevator. They know to the second when the elevator is going to break before it breaks. And their new business model is you get the elevator for free, but you pay us a monthly amount every month that the elevator doesn't break. If the elevator breaks, you don't pay us anything. They're a transportation company. An elevator company that's now a transportation company. They changed themselves. Do you now, every time you see a company, do you see them as they are, or do you see them as who they're going to be? Who the hell would have saw that an elevator company is now a transportation company? Those are two very far different things. Every company that you know that you put them into a box, that they're in this category, you cannot do that anymore. With artificial intelligence, they are now going to put themselves in another box. What I'm trying to tell you is a lot of things that you've learned over the last decades doesn't work anymore. Are you guys okay with that? Does anybody need a hug? This is a profound statement. What you think you knew is no longer applicable anymore. Just because I think they're about a 40-year-old company, they're no longer in that business. They're now expanding out. They're going, since we're a transportation company, they're expanding out into all sorts of new vertical markets. Do you understand? Some of the reference books you guys use saying, in this situation we're dealing with this industry, you must think about this, it's no longer true. Give you another example. Woodside Energy is the oil company in the North Sea. They have oil rigs in the North Sea. The CEO said, I want to use artificial intelligence and I want to get rid of all my employees. I don't need employees. I want to need all these robots and things like that. So what we did was we worked with them and then we trained the software to know everything of that. A mechanical engineer knows, everything an electrical engineer knows. We put all that knowledge into software. There's the software. It knows everything. It has all the knowledge of these expertise of these people. And then we gave the software to all the employees in the company. The company all of a sudden got more profitable. Efficiencies went up. Their profit margins went up. And the CEO realized, my God, you know what? The rumor of software and robots will get rid of jobs is a lie. When you have software and artificial intelligence and you give it to people, you actually start hiring more people because you're more profitable. You can take the knowledge somebody who's, any of you have about to be pensionists? Anybody proud? Anybody about to go to the Hitta for the next 6 years? So only 6 years. That's like 16 years, whatever. My point is this, is before you go off to the Hitta land and pick up your feet and that's it, think about this. Wouldn't you want to leave a part of you at the company or the place that you're at to leave it for generations to come, right? Doesn't that sound beautiful? You can do that. You train the software. What we do, like in the area of cancer, we have 2 doctors sitting down with the software, training the software all the time. So before you leave, you become a pensionist, you sit down with the software and you train the software. And when you leave, you are living eternal. All your knowledge, everything is there for the company, for every new employee. You get a new kid out of Bay E. That first day of work, that the kid's coming in his brand new suit. They don't know anything, but they have 40 years of your knowledge to begin with while you're in the Hitta. Woodside took mechanical engineers, electrical engineers, petroleum engineers, and now everybody has access to their knowledge. So just think about this. Before you go off to the Hitta, Leave your knowledge for everybody behind you. Isn't that beautiful? Anybody crying? No. I was trying to be as romantic as possible. Norway's a very special place when it comes to artificial intelligence. A few months ago, HiOA, Høgskolen i Oslo Akershus, signed an agreement. They're Norway's first artificial intelligence university. They're providing a degree, a bachelor's, a master's, and also a PhD in artificial intelligence. This means that this is not hype, that these are kids now, students, who are experts in this, and this is what Norway is producing. This is no longer something that's happening someplace else, it's happening here. There's over 50 Watson universities, artificial intelligence universities, all over the world and growing. By the end of the year, we'll probably get hit over 100. Do you understand? This way of thinking, the way people, these students are growing and prospering. There's over 100 universities around the world that solely not solely, but have students in a linje just for this. And it's happening here in Norway. By the end of the year, we're going to announce our second university. We hope to do it next month. It's going to be really exciting. And last one, Watson for Education, I think is really cool. Sesam Station, everybody heard of Sesam Station? Okay, who's everybody's favorite in Sesam Station? I like Cookie Monster. Anybody else? Nobody likes Cookie Monster. You guys are too healthy. We work with Sesam Station. We took 50 years of Sesam Station knowledge and we put it all into software. So today, a school can benefit from how to learn. Every child could have individualized learning. This is where we are, and there's over 30 schools in the United States now using that knowledge. Again, this stuff is not coming. This stuff has already happened. So I want to leave with three things of advice I have for you to summarize this whole thing. The first thing is partner with young people. This is really hard probably for a lot of you. A lot of you have worked years and years. You're at the top or close to the top of your field. You should be proud of who you are. But do you have any idea of what I've been talking about, what Turgei's talking about, or what Knut's talking about? If it's a little distant from you, it's a little uncomfortable, if you don't get it, partner with somebody younger than you. It's not insulting. It's necessary. Think about it. It's the only way forward, or the gap between where we are and where we're going will grow. Second thing, I thought this was kind of cool. You veteran judges, everybody who's a veteran here, have a digital partner. Find a person who's younger than you who's digital. Completely, all they think is talk, you don't understand what the hell they're talking about. That's your new buddy. That would be the way forward. It's your ultimate legacy. It's the ultimate way for you to end. Let me tell you something. The other day, I went to, at IBM, we're moving our offices, and we had a wonderful dinner. And after, the dinner, you get your food, and everybody was walking around and saying, who am I going to sit with? Who am I going to sit with? I chose to sit at a table of all these pensionists. I didn't know any of them. It was the best time I had in a long time. All night long, I was laughing, having a wonderful time with these guys who worked at IBM for 45 years. They're all retired. I'm a digital guy. They're veterans. They don't know anything digital. And our worlds came together and it was beautiful. I advise you to do the same thing. Before I came up here today, I made sure I walked the talk, and I did that. And it was wonderful. It took only about a half an hour before we saw the world the same. So if you want to progress and progress Norway, find a digital partner. And the very last recommendation I have is use your power to build the world of tomorrow just like Dow Corning. And this is the last story I'll give you. Dow Corning, 50 years ago, was a pots and pan company. They made pots and pans. The CEO said, we're more than a pots and pan company. They looked at themselves, they recreated themselves, and they created the world's first fiber optic cable, and then they created the glass on the mobile phone. They're the largest mobile phone manufacturer in the world, but they started off as a pots and pan company. What business are you in today? You know your business. Is that where you're going to be tomorrow? If a pot and pan company can start off as pots and pan and is now the biggest mobile phone manufacturer in the world and created all the fiber optic cable that runs the internet, what can you redefine and find yourself and take Norway to? Do not limit yourself in this little box. Remember Kona, they're an elevator company, but today they're a transportation company? Everything that is will no longer be what it is. You must understand that. Currency is now digital. It's invisible, it's untrackable. And everybody who's younger than you is using it. So good luck in the future, but I advise you with one last thing. And you're not going to like me on this one. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Thank you very much.